Bunch of guys we liked left, very expensive. Couldn't really sign Hunt and Wilkins now. 22 would have been different. But they're gone, and now we got a host of new guys. So I'm going to go over those new guys. Try to do my best, to be fair, because all I'm hearing is Grier sucks or Grier's playing 4D chess. And it doesn't, every year it's the same thing, obviously. It's just polar extremes of what we get. And every year, we're doomed, and that tends to be more accurate. But that's the reality in the NFL. You lose and don't reach the Super Bowl most years. But we hear a lot, too, that whoever's in charge has made all the right moves. And, that's what you're a fan. Life kind of is really wild, and you watch this to enjoy. And so I get why that's a thing. But it's not how it's going to play out. Some of these additions are going to do really well for us. Some of them are going to do nothing, and some of them are going to be a total waste. It's just the way it is. So I'm going to get into them in an overview. Up until right now, I'm sure we're going to add some more guys. And I think, once Howard's contract kicks in, it's going to be more money, substantial amount of money. But you also have to remember, we're down to $68 million next year with only 28 players signed. And then 26, we're down to $98 million with only 12 players signed. So from now to 2026, and we're pushing more money, Hill's going to get restructured. It's going to limit the money next year. All into 26, it's only 27 where we're really free. So the next 3 years is going to be very tight. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I'm sure they're going to want to push some money into next year as well. But there will be more additions, certainly through the draft, and that's going to be key. So Friday night, I got a couple of viewers coming on, going to talk the draft. Draft's going to be critical. We have pieces. If we can get 2 good pieces out of that draft, I think we're going to look for an edge, nose tackle, and offensive lineman, but I also think we're going to trade back. But if we don't trade back, nose tackle and guard is going to be key, or a tackle who could play guard, and then you can put that guy out later on. But those are 2 key positions, with one more being the edge. If we can trade back, it's going to be a big deal. If we could add those 2 pieces, it's going to be huge for us. So I'm going to cover that in Friday night on the live. I'm going to post it today so you see it pop up if you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you are, hit the notification bell, hit the like, add comments. All that stuff keeps me doing what I love to do, which is analyze football. I'm not really a good cheerleader, so I just want to do the football thing. But you keep me doing this thing, and I'm grateful for all that you do. I'm so grateful. So I want to give you guys a shout out to Ace Bread, my sponsor, because without the 2 of you, this show ain't going down. Ace Per Head's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. All right, so I'm not going to go hot and heavy. I'm going to give most of these guys some real time, to break it down, to be nuanced. But Jonnu Smith, we all really know to deal with him. But the big problem with the Dolphins is we're predictable. Our offense has got potency. We come out, people don't know, there's new wrinkles. But over time, the predictability really constrains us. It's both in the pass and the run. You've got to have balance in the areas you attack and threaten. And by doing that on both sides, with the pass and the run, works together to really make you a truly potent offense, not hot and cold. Jonnu Smith does that. And you also have to remember, how many times did you see Hill or Waddle either get injured or dinged on the jet sweeps or the pocket post where they kind of knew and they laid the wood on him? With Jonnu Smith, you got a guy 250 who's going to be able to, he runs almost like a running back. You're going to be able to give him some of those carries out of the receiving position to take that away from the smaller Waddle and Hill, and then go to the middle in that pocket post and take that licking and then pull that off the table for Hill and Waddle, who can work in space and not take that shot. When you get on the edges, in the outs or in the deep posts, there's a lot more space and you don't take the licking. But when you go over the middle and you're known to go over the middle, that's where these guys get abused. Jonnu Smith brings a lot on the table. Great pick. I mean, draft. A free agency signing. I don't know, one of the three. Pick them. Free agency signing. I still think that a quality tight end who can both block in the run game and catch with Jonnu would be such a huge difference, but we don't got that right now. We'll see. I do like our ability to block with the tight ends, but that's a really great signing, especially for the price and what we like to do. Now, Davian, Nixon, Isaiah Mack, D tackles. I don't know. I don't think there's anyone crazy enough to say they're going to replace Wilkins. These guys haven't seen much. They're around 300 pounds, 6 foot. They're not going to be, not playing the nose tackle spot. They might be playing that DN rotational because we'll see 4-3 looks, 4 down linemen, 3 down linemen, and 2 guys. You know how Weaver likes to rotate guys in just like the Ravens. So these are bodies. They might not last. They might get cut. They're cheap, $1 million a year. Okay, we definitely need more than that. All right, so moving on. The linebackers is a big deal. Our linebacking core has been terrible. I loved Baker in the blitz with Flores. He played a major role. But then when Flores left, Boyer didn't really use him properly, and he certainly didn't thrive. Although he wasn't bad, he seems to have improved year after year in the Fangio system. But he was more of like, I can blitz really, really well. I'm a good guy, good leader, and I'm fast, but I can't cover as good as my speed is. I'm not as instinctual as you'd want from a linebacker. So long is a big piece of the puzzle in the run game. Still's got to choose the holes a little bit better. He's still a little bit of a rogue guy, but that might work better with the Weaver system than the Fangio system. And his coverage is lax at times. He sometimes doesn't spread his zone out right, gets too tight next to the next guy in the next zone. But it wasn't terrible in small spaces, but his run stop is awesome, and he's one of the best linebackers we had. And we add Anthony Walker and Jordyn Brooks. I don't know these guys. I'm going to be doing the studies on them. I've heard lots of stuff. I've heard Brooks, PFF says he can't cover too well. Other people are telling me he can. Other people are telling me, he's Bobby Wagner 2.0. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to get into the film. But however you slice it, this was a good price. Bringing the linebackers in there. Tyndall, I thought was going to be asked to carry more. You got to kind of guess that was a bad pick. Because by year 3, he should have been in this spot. So that's a bad pick, what looks like. I don't know if they're really going to be able to get that pick to play out. But still, the linebacker position needs the help. And you got Long as the anchor in there to pull us together. And if Brooks is pretty good, if he's even Baker, a little bit better coverage, maybe not the blitzer, that's a big win for us, especially for the scheme that we need that will. Remember that the Ravens, they had Roquan Smith. This guy's not Roquan Smith. But when you get that will linebacker to do that coverage, it really is a huge help for what Weaver wants to do. So I'm going to get into the details to find out exactly who they are. But if he's only making about 8 point something per season, he's got some flaws in his game. Or else he'd be making a lot more. I mean, it's not like no one else is watching film. So I'm sure this guy is pretty good. I'll get the film to you, but I like the investment in the linebacking group. I love bringing in Long last year, and I think this is great. Now, Brewer, I'm doing a 2-part series on that. I'm probably only going to do something that big on Brooks. But we need, this offensive line has held us back for years. Year after year, I say offensive line makes the NFL world go around. I'm told that's not true. And then it comes to the season and it's true. And then the next season I say it and they say it's not true. And then it comes to I'm in my 4th year on prediction. This team will only go as far as its offensive line. Brewer is, if you look at him, he's jacked. Now that frame, that 6'1" frame is pretty much maxed out at 274. Somebody said he went up 10 pounds to 285, but he's maxed. But this guy is very fast, very agile, but he cannot drive block. He's going to accentuate stuff on the edge. He's good at snapping a football. He's pretty aware. He's got good technique, and sometimes he can dominate in certain situations against bigger guys, but he needs help because of his size, and he lacks drive ability. And, I've always said that when you're in the AFC East, you got bad weather. When you go to postseason, you got the KCs, the Cincinnatis. It's bad weather. You need to dominate that A and B gap. You need drive blockers. He's not it. But if we add 2 drive blocking guards next to him, then it changes the way things are going to look. Now, he was in the Titans, and they want to run inside in the A and B gap. They want the inside zone and drive blocking to get Henry off, and he wasn't good there. And there was issues with that. But here, he's going to thrive into it. But we still need to control that A and B. So there is really good stuff with this guy, guys. But how you build this offensive line, it's like a superhero team. If you have five, you got the Hulk and the Thing and, the Colossus and a couple of strong guys. You need the smart guy. You need the guy who can fly. You need an array of talents. And right now, we are skimpy on the Things and the Hulk, okay? So let's see how that plays out, but he's a good player. Shaq Barrett, bringing him in. He's like 32. Excellent signing. I mean, Phillips and Chubb, they're going to be late arrivals or slow arrivals, certainly with Phillips. And this guy is a real talent, but he's older. So how much can you get out of him? Will he stay healthy? He's been pretty healthy. I think this guy was a really good signing. It's very cheap. Well, $9 million for 1 year. He can't get injured. It's these guys get premium money, and he's a leader, and he's got real playoff experience. This was a really good signing, really good signing. Some people are like, well, why didn't we take Gink? We didn't pay Gink, but we paid this guy. Different positions, sort of. And also, Gink didn't want to be here. He's young. He wants to get the extra contract. This guy's just looking to get another year. And so I don't think Gink wanted to come here. So I thought it was a really good signing. Then there's Siran Neal, Bill's special team, a gunner, good pickup. Chasen Hines, the guard. He hasn't seen much action. He's kind of a big boy. And because he's a big boy, and what I'm saying about flanking Brewer with big guards, drive blocking guards, and then you got Robert Jones, who's that kind of guy. Maybe they're going to shield Brewer because when you run that crack seal and zone stretch, it's the center that gets to that next level. And so if you got two big guys and they can move their guys, then Brewer doesn't have to give as much to get guys off their spot when you want to double and then go or just go. So this kind of could be saying that Greer's finally going to get smart and get two good guards here. Eichenberg's here, but Eichenberg's not one of them. But if they're paying him $4 million, he's got to play and he's got to start. Why would you not start a guy for $4 million? So I don't know. I think it's a good sign, but let's see. And then there's Jordan Poyer. I mean, anytime you can take anything from the Bills, that's great. And Poyer is still able to play at a high level. He's 33, though. He's always injured. But if you can get 15 games out of him or 14 games out of him, and they're in the right spot, kind of like with Tehran, then this will be a good deal for $2 million. And if they can get another guy and just bring him in spot duty, keep him from whacking in the strong linebacker role and just play coverage more, he'll have a more likely chance to stay healthy. I thought this was a great signing, too, for the price. But we've invested heavy amounts of money in guys that get injured a lot, and it hasn't worked out for us. But even if it doesn't, it's $2 million, no big deal. So there's a lot of pop to this thing if you can stay healthy. And if not, it's not, but you can't, Poyer, we got Poyer next to Holland, we get the best safety. You can't do that either. But this was, to me, Poyer, Barrett, and Brooks. I like Brewer, but I'm a little concerned because that A and B gap domination, red zone, interior running in the cold, running on third and short is key. If we can pair him, then that's a really good sign too. So to me, there's really, and then Jonnu obviously as well. So Jonnu was an excellent signing. Brooks appears to be that way. Brewer, if we could do the right thing to surround him. Barrett, because we needed it desperately, and that's high quality. And Poyer, because it's a nice roll of dice on an excellent player who's old. So overall, and Siran Neal, you got to like that too. Neal, good gunner. So this is a pretty good free agency crop. I would have done things different from 2022. I'm not saying we're going to Super Bowl, but given the situation, the lack of money, this was a nice series of moves if it plays out in certain ways, guys. So that's it. Neither 4D chess until we'll see. And then it's not doom either. A lot of work to be done, guys. Hopefully I'll see you Friday night at 10 p.m. here. And let's talk about draft. Curtis saying, catch you next time. Be well. See you soon. Go Phins. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.